Hello, everyone, and welcome to Reaper Errant on Reaper Miniatures. We're going to play some Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. And it's awesome to see you out there chatting already. We haven't done this for a month.
Wow.
We had a break in between.
Yeah.
It was a break. It was weather. We had some... Here, our power was fluctuating, our internet was fluctuating, and I don't know. The infrastructure doesn't like cold weather. So, and yes, John is here tonight, and that leads me to my next thing. I'm going to say thank you to everyone watching. Thank you to our technical director, John, tonight. Reaper John, you might see, or I don't know if they'll be using the Reaper Miniatures account, but either way, you might see him out there. To Sidwi, who will be our camera operator. Thank you to all the players who I will let introduce themselves and who they are playing, and then I'll get into a little bit of a recap since it's been a while since we played. So I'm going to start with the traditional upper left multiple-sided thing that has escaped my head. Thanks, Hexagon. Bobby.
2, 3, 4. Hexagon, that's it.
Hello again, good evening and welcome. My name is Bobby Jackson and I will be playing the mighty and indomitable Pugh, gnome bard, armed with his trusty war heart and positive mental attitude.
Thank you. You see a blank missing square there. That would be where Gene is. He will not be joining us this evening, and we look forward to him next time. He is busy moving at the moment.
We voted him off the island.
Yep.
He is.
But now we have the missing man formation.
Yeah, that's true. Jason.
I'm Jason Weeby. I'm playing Corncob Thunderbludgeon, a fairly decent cleric of some repute. Not repute like a gnome, but some repute. And I'm anxious to get going on this adventure. Or fall into my watery grave, one or the other.
I don't think you're set up to do that at all. Michael.
Hello, everybody. Good evening and good night and tomorrow and whatever that gnome said. I'll be playing Abram, the Wood Elf Ranger, the more mighty and totally abominable Wood Elf Ranger with his more mighty longbow and his questionable mental attitude.
All good points. Rhonda.
Thank you.
I'm Rhonda Bender. I'll be playing Fathom, the
Damn
Magic
gnome.
User. And I'm wearing a gorgeous puffy shirt right now, very Seinfeld-esque.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Nightheart. Inspiration.
It feels like I'm wearing a cool Nightheart shirt for my character.
I can't even wear one because, well, as Anne wanted me to wear one earlier, but I have a lapel mic, and you see this. I need buttons. I need a.
We need a polo shirt, Frank.
Yeah, and I don't like polo shirts, but I end up wearing.
Well, then we
here,
need a
but you're
Hawaiian
right.
shirt or a camp shirt. I'd prefer those.
I will go.
Button
Hawaiian.
shirts are the way to go.
We do something
Bowling
else
shirt.
like that. It will be Hawaiian.
Yeah.
Bowling shirt. Yeah, I think a Hawaiian shirt would be better.
And certainly not last, but not least, in our lineup, the glue holding everyone together.
No shit. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Jen. I play Kay Nimblewit, a human rogue.
Who sees everything.
Everything.
Yes.
She gets
Well,
you guys in chat.
Everything.
Yeah, Kay's
We don't
Drill.
even.
Wow, Reaper John, there's a command for that? That's awesome. There's a command.
There's a command for that?
for Kay's journal,
Kay's journal.
where you can
Wow.
see everything that's happened from Kay's perspective.
Oh, I didn't read it. I didn't read it since last week.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
It's been a
Well,
month.
I'm going to do a little bit of a recap. I probably don't have to go too deep into some of the things because I thought it was.
Make sure to focus on our
fairly
main hero. Make sure to focus enough attention on the main hero of the campaign.
Aren't we in the primitive tiefling village on the shore now?
No. You were on the ship.
Okay.
There was some Sahuagin that attacked. One group of very large ones attacked your well, I guess there were multiples in the captain's quarters and then up on the top of the deck. So I don't think you lost anybody to that. You were a little bit surprised because you were approached by sharks first, and that was a bit of a distraction. And
Yeah.
then Sahuagin boarded the ship.
It's a hooligan.
I feel like maybe we were sold a bill of goods about this being a safe passage or any kind of a safe journey, because it's been rather dangerous so far.
Yeah, that's
The rest of the
funny.
crew must just sleep through this stuff.
Probably. I mean, or run, or hide, or make
Oh,
sure the
nothing ever
ship
happens on our cruises.
Yeah, Kay suggested we might want to relook into the what we're being paid for this uneventful, only stuff happens on the land deal.
I think it's one of those tracking rings.
Well,
Hey, bring it on.
You are definitely getting, anytime you have raised your sword, they're going to, the captain is going to give you some coin. But for most days, and some of you have actually offered to make your services useful. I know you have some weather control items that can do some other useful things like walking on water to repair the ship from the outside, things like that. So I do know that when you are like in the service of the ship, you will get coin. I will just have to go back and make sure you get what you want, but she seems very honest and straightforward about what you'll be getting. But if you're not doing anything, you're kind of just passengers, and she's not paying you for those days or those actions. So it's not just when you're on land, just to be clear. You are getting something. But I would maybe question how much you're getting for that kind of nonsense.
That's okay.
That was a lot.
As long as we get to kill stuff.
Abram's happy. Okay, so where we pick up then is, I guess I gotta do a couple of other quick things. Thank you to Sirenscape for our background and ambient music that you will hear.
They're the best.
This today.
They're the best. The absolute best. Yeah, there's nobody better than Sirenscape.
Top shelf.
Oh,
Top shelf
God.
Sirenscape is.
We've tried others, but nobody else comes close.
Except for our theme song on the Crow's Nest.
Of course.
Oh yeah.
Sirenscape is a little heavy on the seagulls, I have to say, but it's okay.
Yeah.
When we do pick up, you are done with you have fended off the attackers from the ship. And you have, I think that's pretty much where we ended it. You've just fended off the attackers. Some of the smaller ones have been thrown over the side. It's up to you what you want to do with the larger bodied ones that were, I think, a little tougher to deal with. But how would you like to go forward with it?
Now there's a storm coming, right?
So this was right in the middle of the storm. That's a great point. Thank you for reminding me. This was right in the middle of the storm. It was about the
teacher,
point...
you forgot to assign homework.
I know. It was about the point where I did a horrible recap. You had decided to go into a storm, and then you would lend your magical abilities to calm it for long enough to get out of the worst part of it and through it. And this is about when they attacked, right before the worst part hit. So now is the time when you'd be doing your thing to calm it, or starting to do your thing.
Then I'll be doing my thing.
Okay. I'll put you up on the bow of the ship, Abram behind you, wind blowing luxuriously.
Yes. Here, far,
banging away at my war harp.
Oh, yeah, I'm glad you finished that sentence.
Are there any valuable parts of these bodies that we should be keeping?
That's great. Make a Arcana, maybe. Yeah, Arcana I think would be a good check for what you might have.
Ooh, I did pretty good at that.
It is raining a little bit.
23.
Ooh.
Oh, that looks nice.
Yeah. That's a great ship.
It is.
That is a great ship. That's available. Is that available to anyone, or did they miss it with that Kickstarter?
Yeah, it's gone.
Well, there were there were extra orders on 5.5. I'm not sure that there's any retail ones yet. John would know.
John has a couple stashed away.
Maybe.
We all have a couple stashed away. Come on, we know why you're building that new deck, Proctor.
I don't have one. I don't have one.
You don't have
a boat. I don't have a boat. I don't have a ship.
I got the regular instead of the glow in the dark.
Yeah,
I'll drive one down to you eventually.
Well, you know, you got to get on the Kickstarters. There's other Kickstarters coming for Reaper, and this is the kind of stuff you get. So,
there's one right now.
There's
Base boss.
There's 5.5. All right.
Yeah,
there's base bosses. There's base boss. Base boss, and then the next one. Okay, stop. Yeah.
I don't know what he's talking about. Do you, Bobby?
You're at the ship. Stop. Pugh, you can control weather. What would you like? I think for every minute you concentrate, you change the weather type. I know you don't want to still the water. What do you want to do with it's getting? This would be very turbulent, a lot of high winds, and
more snow
like that.
Yeah, it takes me 1d4 times 10 minutes to change one of the conditions: temperature, wind, or precipitation.
Okay.
So the most dangerous would be the wind. If there's really high winds, that would be the one I would focus on first.
Okay.
Can you play the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald on that harp? This snowstorm's starting to scare me a little bit.
What's the radius of your control?
5 miles.
Okay.
Wow.
So that's excellent. You have a lot of control. You get the wind to die down, at least in your proximity. The ship is still dealing with some waves, and make an insight check.
$14.
So I believe that you, being the astute user of this magic, understand what kind of magic you're shifting. So you know, or what kind of weather you're shifting. So you know what the weather would normally be. And then you're changing it, altering it into this slightly milder weather. You feel with that check that the first mate back there is having some problems dealing with the waves because there's no indication of where they should be coming from weather-wise. There's a little disconnect. You could help them out a little bit. You've taken a little bit of a beating more than you should have because of that.
The wind is not acting in concert with the waves. There's some alien force. I will call my pet elf over and give him a message for the first mate and say, "Hie thee to the poop deck, elf." And
it wasn't going to be. It wasn't even going to be a half hour before we got into that.
Yeah.
Stop it, Jason. You're instigating.
Sit.
I didn't say poop deck.
Poop.
Okay. to the stern. Hie thee swiftly to the stern and inform the first mate that I have detected an incongruity in the weather between the wind and the waves. There appears to be some nefarious weatherdom afoot.
Wow. That's pretty literate for a bunch of sailors.
Right.
Hey.
All right. So, Errant, are you going to take that message back to the poop deck and the?
I am. I would like to relay that to the poop deck and the first mate now, please.
Okay.
First mate, the less than adept gnome seems to have some trouble with his spells and the weather. It seems to that's something to do with the wind and the waves aren't cooperating with each other. I think he doesn't know what he's doing, but you know this area better than all of us. He's trying his best. Just pat him on the head, and he's trying his best is all I can say.
Obviously, there's a more evil gnome of higher level working his weather spell against us.
Yeah.
Well, these
Or
Sahagin
something
things,
similar.
they've changed the weather?
Uh,
Things that attacked us.
Make a history check. Fathom.
17.
17. Do you have like a sage background or anything like that? What is your background? I forgot. I'm sorry.
Evil.
Hold on, now I've forgotten. Yeah, criminal spy, so no, I probably don't know, but
Okay.
what's
Okay.
happening?
I spilled.
Then
Oh no.
I hope it wasn't paint, and I hope it wasn't on a mini.
No, it was beer.
That's fine.
There's beer on his computer, so
That's
it's
okay.
safe. It's okay.
Yeah, it's good. That's okay. So Fathom, you think that there are some high priestesses in some of the Sahuagin cults that maybe could make those kinds of changes in the world.
I
think
will
you've
share
read
that
about it.
information like looking at the bodies.
Okay.
The saleable part.
It is not necessarily something that has happened just because you have defeated these Sahuagin, though. Just to be clear, the weather patterns, you haven't observed them as much until Pugh started trying to affect them.
Oh yeah, no, I assume that they might have done it before they attacked.
Yeah.
And we just were a little too busy to notice.
Okay. She kind of looks at you wide-eyed, Abran. I know you're cleaning stuff up. Like, well, that doesn't help me much. How am I supposed to steer this thing? Against the wind? With the wind?
Where am I on the ship?
So you where you want to be, Corncob. You can be up here, or you can be at the bow, stern, midships. I don't.
Well, if I can overhear the first mate saying that, I'm going to walk over to the gnome and suggest maybe he stands closer to the first mate, so we don't have any more communication problems.
Okay.
All right, I'll move back to the poop deck since the elf has failed.
All right. Back here you go. Corncob has relayed the message to you. So I'll let you choose, Pugil, how you want to convey what your changes are. I think it's going to be pretty easy, but what kind of skill would you like to use to make sure that you are properly informing how to steer the ship?
Nature.
Nature. Beautiful. Make a check.
$26.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
You do
I'm a nature boy.
You are. It's an easy communication. You can just two things are happening, which is very clear to everyone back here. So we have Pugil, Corncob, Abran, that they're not used to any kind of magic controlling the weather around their ship. This is something they have to get used to. And the other is that they were a little bit nervous, which you may not have noticed before, about using magic to control the weather around the ship. And you can visibly see her relax as she begins to kind of understand what you're communicating, how you're controlling it. She's beginning to think of it as no different than turning the rudder on the ship, the way you're controlling weather, and you're starting to get a little bit of a nice understanding of how each other are working. And it starts sailing really pretty smoothly.
Very good. But I'm still feeling the incongruity between the wind and the wave pattern.
A little bit. You feel like it's getting a little less. It was hammering at the ship oddly for a little while. You feel like
But,
as you've it's either as you've communicated or maybe you're out of the range of someone else's changes.
okay.
Or you're moving out of the range. I'll say it like that.
Okay.
The strange things, would magic do that? Sorry, I'm asking myself a meta question. You might get some strange wave patterns by different, like if you're using magic, they're using magic, and the wind's using natural forces. It doesn't just stop at the zone of your magic. There's a little bit of wave that bounces off of each other and moves out, and that's probably the hardest part to deal with.
Okay. Well, I can continue this for up to 8 hours.
Okay.
I guess I'll do that until the worst of the storm is past.
Okay. So everyone else, is there anything you'd like to do for the next hour?
Well, I was examining the bodies to see if there was any information or valuable parts, and then we should get them off the boat.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll help.
Okay.
Abran will help Fathom. He'll throw it over when she's done.
Hay or corncob?
I'll help as well.
Are they edible? Can you cook them up? Do they taste like seafood? Does the goblin cook? Is the goblin's cook interested?
I mean, the goblin cook has not come up from below deck in this storm.
Okay.
They don't have any of them neat scale pockets on them, do they?
Ooh.
Yeah, we always got to look now that we know that can happen.
Yeah, you got to look.
No, they do not have.
They didn't have any
Good.
magic necklaces or rings of any power or anything like that?
No, it mostly seemed like pretty mundane creatures attacking.
Okay.
Big ones, cunning ones, but not magical ones.
Was the one that escaped the leader, or he was just one of the rabble?
You didn't get the sense that they were necessarily a leader.
Okay.
Just lucky.
Just
Yes.
pick the right time to go. Okay, so as you travel on a little bit further, about an hour in, let's make your rolls now for investigation as you've been searching the bodies pretty thoroughly and dumping them off the side.
I have to go with my minimum of 12.
12.
Yeah, Corncob gets a 9.
23.
Did you say 23, Fathom?
Yeah, you said investigation, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And Kay, did you want to be helping with this or doing something else in particular?
I can help with that. I don't have anything else.
Investigation from you as well?
14.
14. Okay. So, Fathom, as you investigate and you start sort of going through all of their belongings, you see that most of it, there aren't really any belongings. They don't have a lot of possessions on them other than weapons, kind of shield-like armor, those kind of items. But on one in particular, you do find this really uniquely woven, you think it's woven out of a kelp or a seaweed of some sort. This maybe a charm, you're not entirely sure. There is a runic, there's some arcane runic symbols on it. It in itself doesn't appear to be like the kind of thing you'd associate with a magical item, but it is has some arcane runes woven into it. And it's some sort of charm or badge or bracelet. You're not really sure of the nature. It was like tucked underneath one of a little bit of scale that they might have had.
A little scale fold.
A little scale fold.
Goggles. Goggles.
Ooh, goggles. Goggles.
Are these weapons worth keeping for the crew to have as backups or something? Or they should go over the side too?
Nah, they're pretty boring. Most people wouldn't buy them, probably, other than as some sort of.
Let's break them before we throw them overboard.
Oh,
Good point.
okay.
Oh.
Break the weapon.
No sense arming a bunch more of them.
That's fair. Okay. So
I'll stand back and let Goggles have a good look at this arcane-ish doodad.
Sure, I'll take a look.
Okay. So pointed out to you, you take a look at this, flip the appropriate glasses into place, and you get a nice view of it. It is finely woven. It's very delicate. It is clear, though, it's of the sea. It's not something everything about it, the runes, you're not sure, but they give you the feeling of ocean, currents. There's no magic. It's not magical.
I don't
Maybe
see
the
any magic
navigator?
on it.
Yeah. Okay. Something, but you're not sure what.
So it couldn't have been causing this weather thing if it's not
No.
magic.
No.
I'd say we show it to the navigator or the captain,
That's a good idea.
unless you guys want to keep it.
I think it's worth showing them because they seem to have had encounters with these creatures before. So.
Yeah. Okay. Navigator and captain are somewhere, probably in their quarters mostly. It's been the first mate out here for this. However, if you find them, or I assume if you're going to go to them, you'll knock or walk in. Your choice.
Yes, I will do that.
Knock and walk in. Okay. So you enter.
Do I have it with me? Did you guys trust me with it?
We trust.
You're very trustworthy.
Okay.
All right.
You enter. They both look up from a map. The navigator seems to be sort of make an insight check.
Okay.
That's the twitchy guy. Oh, I'm up with this.
Yeah, he's evil.
18 for corn cob.
Okay. So Corncob, he seems to be nervous. He's wringing his hands a little bit. You know that he had suggested maybe going around the storm, and that's when Pugh had said, no, don't worry. I can control it once we get halfway in, and you all agreed, including him, that it was the best choice. But he seems to still be nervous about it. He's in the middle
I'll
of the
ask
storm.
him, hey, it seems like you're nervous. What's going on?
Well, I'm trying to relax into it, but it's unnatural, and I'm trying to let
You mean the wind
all
coming
do-
from the wrong direction as the waves?
Oh, just the weather in general being controlled. I trust you all and the captain, and logically our plan is sound, but holding an entire storm at bay, one little creature is.
I would trust the gnome. As far as I know, he's never wrecked a ship.
True. That is true.
And besides, we took this thing off one of those monsters, those watery geeks that came up out of the ocean. And I'll show him the amulet.
Yeah, yes. He looks at it, sort of turns it around. It looks like some archaic writing. I'm not familiar with these things, but the captain is kind of looking over it, and she says, "No, I'm not familiar with their religions or anything. Perhaps a symbol of their faith."
Well, I could try a religion roll, I suppose, even though I'm pretty lousy at it for a cleric.
You could, Corn. Go for it.
I got a 13.
It does not seem a divine kind of rune or marking that you've seen anywhere before, or you understand. You trust Fathom that she said it was arcane in nature, and you don't recognize it as divine. But
yeah, I'll tell them we don't feel like it's magic. None of the people in our party that checked it out feel like it's magic. However, to myself, I'm thinking we didn't check the bag. We should probably check the little pouch, just in case, the finely woven pouch.
Right.
But anyway, okay. Well, I'll hang on to it then. I hope your day gets better, Mr. Navigator.
Oh, as soon as we're through the storm, it'll be much better. Much better.
Well, just keep the gnome fed.
You turn around to leave, Corncob, and a deckhand walks in, or kind of rushes in, actually, and says,
"Oh no,
Captain, we have a problem." And she just looks.
I'm not going to leave then.
Okay, so you're kind of caught in the conversation. She says, well, "What is it now? What's wrong?" "There's a leak. It seems like maybe those creatures, the Sahuagin that attacked us, had done some damage to the outside of the ship. We're taking on water."
How big is the hole?"
He looks over at you, and he says, "Well, we didn't notice it at first, and now that we have, it's not overly big, but the reason we noticed it is part of the ship gave way a little more just recently, and the flood of water came through. Cook alerted us to it. He's not happy at all."
Part of the ship gave way a little more. You mean after the hole was made?
Yes.
We didn't get on board a leaky ship, right?
No. This was
okay.
It looks like it's been sabotaged. I can expect the Sahuagin, when they attacked, also tried to drown the ship or sink us.
Okay. Do you have some tar or some pitch?
We're working on it now, but
cork.
Captain, so he just sort of turns from you and says, I don't think we can patch it. And she says, I'll look. And she sort of.
Well, I have tools for water vehicles.
Good. Then come along.
They also can dive pretty well. Would you like me to see what I can do about it? I'm also a mason, so we could always brick up the hole, I guess.
I'm gonna go with. Oh no, I didn't go with. Oh. Then I don't.
However, you see the captain coming out of her quarters. She has waved you along, Corncob, if you want to come along, and she's heading to go below deck. You see that it looks like she has purpose. Corncob, are you following?
Yeah, I'll go just long enough to see what the hole looks like from the inside, but it would make more sense to me to repair it from the outside.
Okay. All right. So you're going down. You all see Corncob kind of going down with her. I think you would all see. Maybe
I'll motion to whoever's watching that's not the gnome, because we're going to need the gnome to keep the storm off us, and just kind of holler we got a little problem below decks.
All right. So you head down the stairs. Is anybody coming down with him?
Yeah, I'll go down with them.
Fathom.
I don't want to be too specific because I don't know if this is something you talk to about the whole crew or not. I mean,
right.
I'll stay up and keep an eye on the gnome. He doesn't get blown over or something.
Important.
He's little, yeah.
Tie him to the mast.
Gnome
Over below.
overboard.
Actually, tie him to the figurehead. That'd be cool.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
was that K up or down?
Down.
Okay, so K is coming along too. All right, so following line behind Corncob and behind Corncob is Fathom and K. Sort of funnel down there. As soon as you get down the stairs, 2 sets of stairs, so you're down at the very bottom level that you can get to. You know it. There's water up to your knees.
Oh, good Lord.
People are kind of actively moving around. You see pitch being pulled over, wood coming out. You even see some people with nails.
Is there someone that acts as a shipwright on this boat?
You can. There is someone who's got tools in their hands that are trying to make repairs actively. They seem to know what they're doing, but they seem frustrated fishing against water. And you notice now they're starting to call for some buckets or barrels, really, or anything. They need to get some of the water out.
Okay. Do we have any kind of... Oh, go ahead.
I want to message Corncob and ask him if he thinks his water elemental could hold the whole water out of the hole while we fix it.
I don't...
Because I don't think my wind fan would work. I don't think you could fix it.
I don't think so. I don't know. I could try it, but it doesn't seem like it would. Since he is made of water, I'm not sure.
Yeah, you wouldn't know unless you asked him. But
I mean, I'll mention loud that I have the wind fan.
That's a good idea. Let me try to patch it first. If I could get some wood and some of that pitch, and maybe if you have some oilcloth or some canvas or something.
Yes, they have all those tools actually have been brought in right near there.
And I've got some tools as well.
Okay.
I'm going to just go ahead and hop overboard.
You're going to do it from the outside. Okay.
Against they can work on the inside and I'll work on the outside.
Okay. So, yeah, head down there. Outside.
Safety rope. Safety rope.
I'm only wise. I'm not intelligent.
So Corncob, it is near the stern of the ship. It is, yeah, no, not near. It is probably just where the stern starts as you're leaving the starboard side. You're back there under the. You can hold on tight. The ship is still moving, so there is some buffeting going on from water on you. But other than that, can you breathe under here? Are you like fairly?
I have my ring of breathing anything.
Okay, so you're.
And I can swim, and I got my magic otter pants.
All right, so your legs will be warm and cozy. You realize that as soon as you pop in this water, you're from the torso down. These otter pants are wonderful. They're warm, wonderful to deal with down here. You're working. Pugh, what are you doing up top? You have.
I have a question.
Yes.
Have we shipped enough water so that I can tell that we're wallowing, getting sluggish?
Pugh, do you have any experience in sailing? I don't think any of you do, right?
No. I do not. I'm a nature
so
boy.
it's not enough that you can actually tell as a
landlubber.
Yeah, as a land, from the outside looking at the ship, you don't tell that it doesn't look like it's listing any direction in particular, or working any harder, and you haven't noticed if it's if the water levels crept up on the side or not.
Well, if we can patch it, then we can bail it.
It would be too meta for me to draw on. I'm sorry.
It'd be too meta for you to draw on.
I read Moby Dick. I know how to deal with these big holes in ships, so
It
But
might be a
Pugh
little.
probably doesn't.
Yeah, it
Okay.
might be a little meta for Pugh to know.
Okay.
Okay, so
I'd like to take a look at the area of the hull around the hole. Since they said that it got bigger, I'm a little concerned about there being some kind of rot or other destructive magic going on.
okay.
Is a hole or a series of cracks? Like, did something stove it in, or did something bore through it?
Well, so there's two things happening. One,
Or
you're
out
going to
of
the
it, I guess.
outside. As you're going to the outside, I think Kay's on the inside. She's below deck, right? And Kay, are you? So go ahead and make an investigation check. Are you using any tools or abilities to see it, like your goggles?
I'm using the goggles.
Okay.
13.
13. Okay. So there is a good size what are these? I'm sorry, I gotta look back on the goggles. I'm the one that gave them, so I know what they do. Okay. It looks like something is continuing to eat at the material. It doesn't look magical in nature. You are probably, you might have heard of some poisons that are, or some materials that could do this sort of thing. It's starting to eat away the matter a little bit. It is not magical. It is, however, you think it's slowing down, but it's growing. But the biggest problem that you've identified is that the area around it, where it appears people are trying to patch, and it makes sense, does not look sturdy anymore. This doesn't look like an old dry rot or something. It looks like something has made it do this. Maybe one of the creatures had some sort of chemical that could eat through it. You're not really sure, but something has gotten onto this wood and has eaten it away and softened it around the area that you're thinking about patching. So the hole itself is not really big, but there's a lot of soft material around it.
Can I tell kind of where the edges of this disrupted area are?
Yeah, I think you could with those goggles. It's about 2 feet across.
All right, so I'm going to point this out to the crew that's working on it. No, all of that wood is bad. Something's been eating it away. You have to go out to here to get to good wood to patch it.
So, okay. When you tell them that, they immediately kind of get a little bit nervous and look at it with a different sort of point of view. They start asking for longer bits of material and pieces. I think you could get that done by the time Corncob gets situated on the outside. And Corncob, you have a chance to look at the outside. You want to investigate the outside before you try to patch it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry about that. We had an emergency giant bug in the kitchen emergency.
Ah,
Oh,
Oh,
no.
those
a
are the
monster
worst.
attacking.
Real combat for you tonight.
Yes.
Yes.
So am I
Yes.
investigating or am I perceiving?
This is investigation.
And I have a 17.
Okay. This looks a lot better from this side than it did from the other side. You do see the little hole when you finally find it. I mean, it takes a while to kind of figure out where this was at from the outside. But once you've seen it, it's not as it looks, you can see this sort of the jagged edges a little bit where the water is kind of pulling in around the bits of wood, and occasionally a little sliver or two extra of wood gets pulled in with it as the water is pushing in.
So I was going to try to make a bigger patch in the hole anyway.
Yeah.
Do I see anything like a saw poking through there, like they're trying to make the hole bigger? Because if they're not, I'm going to try to use one of my ship's tools to scrape away the rotted part.
Okay.
Because I mean, I don't know from poison, but
Yeah.
it would seem like if you cut away the weak part and then patch it over.
Right. Go ahead and make you're proficient with the tools you're using, so make a proficiency check. Roll d20 and add your proficiency modifier to it.
19.
Okay. Yeah, so you get the right amount out. You feel like you've kind of pushed in, and where your tool started biting into firmer, better wood, you have cut away. Looks like you've got good material to purchase into. There's a lot of stuff flooding in at the moment, but that step is good. What's next?
I think the next thing is I'm going to put some of that oilcloth or sailcloth across the hole, tack it in place, and then put wood over it. I mean, if it's pitch in between.
Okay.
I have no idea how to fix a ship.
No, I know you're doing your best at it. So make a check with your tools. Again, another proficiency check. It's a challenging check.
All right, I got a 16 that time.
Okay. So you think you got it patched probably as good as you can get it from out here. You can't tell from this point if water's flowing in a little bit. There's a disturbance around the ship as it's cutting through
I
it.
imagine there's still a little bit flowing in, but if I could slow it a little bit, that's really what we were trying for.
Right.
Hopefully the guys on the inside know better what to do.
Yes. So while they're inside, those of you who are inside, they're working pretty feverishly. For a moment, you saw Corncob's tools come in. Water comes pushing in a lot more, and then you see them put the sailcloth over, other wood from the
I see a little
outside.
bulge.
It starts to push in a little bit, but then holds firm. And you think also, Kay, that Corncob's got it onto good wood. So it is not going to rip. And whatever substance was on the ship has been, I don't know, eroded away by the water, washed clean.
Well, I'm getting the hell out of the water and back up on the deck then.
Okay. You get back up there. You realize the gnome navigator and the captain are you just as you come up, you can see them go into the captain's quarters along with one of the deckhands. And you recognize this deckhand as the person who was initially repairing the ship, Pugh.
Which was it, the first mate or the navigator that had the magic gloves that Kay saw?
It was the first mate.
Okay.
Are the rest of us bailing now at this point?
I mean, the crew, some of the crew is, but I mean, that's up to you whether or not you want to help them.
I'll pitch in.
Okay. Make an athletics
I'll suggest
check.
to the captain that we should probably get to a safer harbor as soon as we can.
16.
16 athletics check. Okay. So you see Fathom start helping, bailing some water. They formed a little bit of a line with as many people as they could spare during this. Okay, anything else down below? At some point you watch the person who patched it kind of just nod like, well, that's all I can do. Mention that and say, I need to talk, and then head up the stairs.
That's not confident.
Nope, nothing else for me.
Okay. Corncob, you follow the captain in. I'm just going to let this conversation happen on deck. Corncob, gnome, and captain. Corncob, navigator, captain. So, in the captain's quarters, the captain. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. There's also the deckhand who was working on it with the tools, and we're just going to make that this person. So
We don't have among us some kind of freeze spell, do we?
What?
you know,
What kind of
offhand?
I
spell?
said we don't have among us some kind of freeze water spell, do we?
Mm.
Okay.
Okay. Well, what's the outcome? It looks like we'll say the shipwright, the person that was enacting the repairs, says, "Well, it'll hold for a little while. Corn cob got on the outside. Thank you. It was the best way to patch it. We couldn't get anything on the inside, but it's not going to hold for long. We have to get somewhere within a couple days, maybe."
She can't take much more, Captain.
And the captain just sort of looks frustrated and says, "Do we have to turn around now? That's the nearest port. We could do these repairs."
Well, if only we had favorable winds. If we had favorable winds, how quick could we get to the other port that we were aiming for?
Even with favorable winds, it's the longer choice. 2 days more.
And the favorable winds are only 8 out of 24 hours.
The navigator
We've got lots more wind than that.
I can make wind. I can't control all the
Yeah.
weather, but I can make.
We've got 3
okay.
wind casters and a really boisterous elf.
You'll find favorable wind one way or another. The navigator raises his hand in it and says, "Well, we did find an island last time we came through here. It was close. I could check the maps."
Yeah, check the maps. This sounds great.
Island. Let's do the island.
Huh.
Island.
The captain goes, "But can we careen her there? Because if we can't, what are we doing?"
Can we do what her there?
Careen. So the captain turns and goes,
You
"Well,
sailors in your lingo."
we're going to take the Swan. We're going to roll over and rub her belly a little bit. It'll be fine. We just have to find the right beach for it."
This isn't called Sahuagin Island, is it?
I hope so.
You want to fight more of those guys? They were mean.
No, it was. We passed by it. We mapped the outer shores of it, so I'm sure I have it. And he says, "I'll get the map. Wait, it should be here." And so I forgot you're in the captain's chambers. He goes over to some of the files and boxes there that he keeps, and he pulls it out. He slides it across the table, plops it down, and says, "Yes, right here. Right here, we can do it. We can get there within. If Pugh can keep the weather fair within half a day at most." And I remember.
Well, why wouldn't we do that? That's even faster than going home.
It's on the way, no less. We'd lose no time.
And if we can't fix the ship, then at least we have an island.
Yeah.
I distinctly
Win-win.
remember some beaches that were good for careening. We could do it. The
Still
captain.
careen.
I'm thinking pineapple veggie-pygmies is what I'm thinking.
Mhm.
So she looks at you, Corncob. What do you know of the patch? Will it hold? Can you do more on the outside? Is this?
I can do more if we need it, but I don't have any skill in shipwriting. I just patched it like it would seem like it needed to be patched.
He looks over at the make-right. Gosh, the shipwright, who just
Send the make-right down there. I'll help him.
shakes his head a little bit and says, "No, we should take the island if we can." Fine, then we'll do it. Morgoth,
Yay.
set a course. We're heading to the island.
Yeah, like you said, we find some rubber trees, and then we harvest the sap and we boil it down.
So who all is in this car? Is Corncob? Are you in this? You'll find that makes good pancake syrup. Corncob, are you the only one like directly in this conversation?
Well, I was the one that was suggesting that we get to a shore somewhere fast.
Okay, Corncob, make an insight check.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that.
Oh wait, insight isn't too bad. What the hell is that? Oh, an 11. No, a 12.
12. Okay. Yeah. Everyone seems a little bit nervous, but they have a plan. They have a solution. They have a course to execute. The captain has asked the gnome to lay in a course, and they will navigate there. So it's good.
I don't think we have much of a choice, guys. I mean, I'm just a humble country cleric, but
We'll do it. It's the right thing to do. But unexpected. We'll have to move all of the supplies to one side of the ship, if you don't mind helping with that when we get there. If you've never done it before, there'll be some activity. We'll have fun. We'll see the soft belly of the swan. She gets up and she takes off to go up to the first mate. And it seems like a course has been laid, and you head to somewhere. Okay, so anything you guys want to ask or know as you make your way to this? This will be basically the entire remainder of your spell, Pugh.
Okay.
To get there.
Okay.
Anything else? Any other questions that any of you may have or want to know before you get there?
So they have all the supplies that they need to do this?
So yes, they do have repair supplies. They would rather do it in a dry dock, but from things you can overhear, it's not the first time they've rolled the swan over and repaired a bit, or at least scraped off some really bad barnacles.
I don't see that we have a huge choice in the matter.
Kay, you had a question?
Yeah, I want to get out the magic journal from our mage friend and send the Reader's Digest version of what has happened since we've got on board, between the demon attacks and the fish guy attacks, and now this, which is effectively forcing us to put in on this island. It's all starting to be a little suspicious to me.
Okay.
Yes,
Someone
indeed.
put a hex on us.
Yeah.
Someone wants
It's
us
that
on
harp. It's the harp.
Now, all of the acid or whatever it was that was eating away at the wood has been removed. We didn't get a sample of that, did we?
No.
When they cut away from the inside, they didn't keep any of the damaged wood.
I mean, so Corncob cut away from the outside. Chunks of wood went flying in when he did so.
Yeah, I didn't think to. I'm sorry.
If that is available, and when we get there, I'd like, because I'm going to have to continue my spell until we get to the island. But
right.
if it's possible to get a sample, I'd like to get a sample.
Okay. When you get there, yeah, after this spell is done.
Yes.
So you all they come, everybody's a flurry of activity. They get in. You notice that they turn the ship. They talk for a little while with the navigator, mostly unimportant to you necessarily. I will let you know if anything seems suspicious about what they're saying, unless you have a keen sort of want or desire to start learning how to sail. They talk about where to land, what the best beach might be, and they finally come in sort of broadside to the beach as much as they can.
Before that happened, I think I wanted to go take a nap.
Okay.
So I could recharge my spells before we get to the island.
Yeah. Oh, I need to turn this ship the other way if I want to be what's the word for it? I think I need to turn it the other way. Wait. How was this ship? Was this about? Yeah, it was the other side. Yeah. We're gonna go this way. Sorry. Okay. So they
I'll be right back.
They get the ship up to the beach. You notice that this beach goes. Oh, by the way, Pugh, Joel, yeah. Just as you guys get it there, you're pretty much done with the spell, and you can go down and make an investigation for bits of wood or something that might have come in. There's a flurry of activity down here happening. There is a bunch of people on the crew. It is still raining a little bit. On the crew, they're moving everything to the port side of the ship, like everything they can. They're moving it all over. They're just putting all the weight in, and you see them outside. They've hooked some ropes up, and they're just pulling it. Now, this ship doesn't have a bottom because Reaper very smartly knew that we'd be playing with it on a table and cut it off. But they roll it over onto its side a little bit, or they're trying to roll it over onto the beach on this very deep area so they can access the part of the hull dry that they can repair it with. It looks like it's going to be a lot of work. And while they're doing this, see, you're below Pugh, Joel. Kay, you hear the gnome, the navigator, talking with the captain. Your passive perception. Would you like to get? You can't hear everything very well, but you know you could probably creep a little closer. The bits that you start to hear are the gnome has mapped it before and says something about interesting topology.
Yeah, I'll see if I can listen in.
Okay, so you make a stealth check to get, unless you don't care about being noticed, a little bit closer.
$23.
Okay, that's good. So, just as you kind of move in a little bit closer, it is raining a little bit. The wind is dying down. The storm is more distant, and you overhear the gnome and the captain discussing. The gnome says, "I'm useless to you here, Captain. Just let me go on. It was a very interesting topology. This is what we do. I'm here to map this. I don't have to just map every shore. Let me look at the interior some. Maybe we'll get some fresh water or something out of it. Or have a place to learn that we can stop off." The captain seems a little reluctant about it. He says, "Morgoth, don't need you getting injured. This is not the time. We need to repair it." So there's a little bit of a back and forth until finally the captain sighs. "Fine. But this is what we hired them for, and you can take that crew, that party of adventurers with you then, if you're going to
get on the red shirts. Let's form an away team."
Yeah, but when we were hired, we had a disposable lizard.
Well, he's still asleep. I can't wake him up. I think he's hibernating or estivating or whatever the hell lizards do.
Time to
he's
hibernate.
Probably going to shed pretty soon.
Yeah, so. He's molting. He's molting.
Yeah. They get surly, so let's just let him be.
Oh my gosh, I'd hate to see a gooseneck molt.
Yeah.
So
well, I'm bunking with him, so let me tell you.
The Morgoth says, "Fine, they can come with me. That's there's nothing on here but if that makes you feel more at ease, then we'll go. We'll be back. It's going to take you 2 days to do these repairs, probably, for it to dry properly. So a day. Give us a day. You don't hear anything, but you just the silence that follows that. Kay, you assume there's some agreement, some affirmation of that request, and then the gnome comes out the door that you were waiting beside. Let me kind of set it up a little more. You were probably right about in here, and the gnome comes out. Door closes. Looks up at you immediately and says, okay. We are going on a little expedition to map the center of this island. I hope you don't mind me asking you to round all your friends up. We're leaving within the hour. Usual. I'll see you.
If we mount an expedition with the 5 of us and forgot, how many people will be left at the ship?
There'll still be 20 there.
Okay.
Or nearly 20, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Kay, when he pops out, he looks at you. Is that? I hope that sounds reasonable. I'm itching to go. I just need to gather my supplies.
I mean, sure, I can let everybody know so we can get ready to go, but are you sure that's wise to go away from the ship like that? I mean, in the couple of days since we came on board, since we left port, I guess, there's been 2 attacks by unusual creatures, and then something that looked an awful lot like sabotage on the ship's hull. Are you sure this is really a time to split off?
So he picks up his hands and he waves his fingers in front of you and says, "No tools, no weapons, no pitch. I'd like to go alone. The captain has sent you with me."
Well, we'll need the navigator.
I'm not helpful.
If the ship survives.
To the
Plus,
repairs.
All those attacks on the ship are kind of an argument for getting off it for a while.
And that's a great point.
I want to get my land legs back.
Well, I mean, you're not wrong, but it would also be sad if we came back and the rest of the crew had been killed. We don't know how to
we set up our own civilization. Just wait for the next ship in the next couple decades.
Right.
So he takes a step.
Elf can last.
He stops and he goes, I hadn't considered that there might be danger for the sailors here, but I feel like we set aside the Sahuagin attack and nothing else more dangerous than your normal reef sharks out there for them. I hope no one gets a splinter. See you in an hour.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what they thought yesterday. But all right, I'll let everybody know.
And 3-hour tour.
Let's go.
So that is where we're going to take our first break of the evening. That's about mid-game for us, and we'll find out what the expedition on shore looks like. And so since we'll be back in 10 or 15 minutes for all of you. Thank you for watching Pindrake. We're careening the ship maybe just for you. I know how much you like the ships. The Silver Swan was the name of this ship. And that's it. So we'll see you all in a little bit. we took our little break. We got refills. Went, stretched, got up. I hope everyone stretched and got up.
Pooped.
And walked around. Well, I mean, it's up to you. And now we get to continue. They're mid-careening the ship. Well, they've kind of gotten it worked out, at least to the point where they've only asked the strong ones to stay, the abundantly, clearly strong ones to stay back. And the navigator has convinced the rest of the party that, well, actually has convinced the captain to let them go on a little expedition to the interior of the island where they talked about seeing some really interesting topography that they wanted to map out. This is a cartographer. They love what they do. And the captain has said, well, this is what we brought you all on for, so please escort our navigator and keep him safe. Yeah. And Pugh.
So as we approach the island,
Yes.
can we see the edges of the island, or is it a really big island?
You can see the edges of the island as you approach it. So it's no more than 5 miles across, probably, at least from your approach. Might be a little bit longer. It's not perfectly round, but you can see what you think of the edges at least.
Is it
Are
a
there
volcanic
trees?
island?
Yeah, trees, beaches.
You do see trees. There, it is interesting when you come up. There are beaches. There's some rocky sides. As you were making your way in, you were trying to find. Some of the argument between them was that they needed a beach, but they wanted it to be very deep, and you think that's where the ship ended up. So they're in a deep beach. There are some rocky areas, and then there is one approach where they first started coming up and turned around very quickly. It's a very shallow, I guess, beach that goes out. When you were in that area, you saw a lot of sea life going on, a lot of fish and things like that, but they turned away from that pretty quickly. Interior to the island that you could see from the outside, there is some elevation in there a little bit. There are trees. The trees are, they looked deciduous, or many look deciduous from out here. So it's not like a tropical island paradise or anything like that. It looks like you pulled up in a chunk of, Oregon, maybe, or something. Pugh.
As we come in, does the shore look unbroken, or can we see maybe a river mouth or a creek, the head of a creek,
You don't see
or
any
a place?
rivers or
Is
creeks.
there maybe a place where the vegetation may be more dense that would indicate a small creek?
Make a nature check.
Oh, just what I wanted to make. $17.
17. Okay. There looks like an area of slightly denser vegetation that could indicate some sort of water supply or nutrient supply a little bit.
Okay.
Could
I'll be
also
sure to point
indicate a
that out
history
to
of dead bodies there.
I'll be sure to point that out to Morgott.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Maybe a lot of guano.
No, you're right. Right, you are.
Because,
Perhaps we should
guanos
look
is just
back.
like gold.
Oh, well.
Before we head inland, I want to make another entry into the magic journal about, okay, here's where we are. And we stopped to do ships on the repairs, but Morgoth is very insistent about heading and exploring to the internal parts of this island.
Okay.
And
I like it. It pops up in that. I mean, you're confident that it pops up on the other side of it.
She needs to run a background check on this guy.
Well, between the sabotage of the hull and then the, oh, look, we're right by this island we spotted last time, followed by, I really, really want to go explore. It's not a good look for our buddy.
Well, it's not,
He's
but it's
trying
one
to
of
do
those
this whole
it's one of those fox and the hen in the bag of grain things. Do we let the navigator go off by himself, or do we protect the ship, or
Who
Oh,
goes
yeah, I'm
with
a
not
the
ship
saying that
without
we
a
fox?
should.
navigator? I guess we could do
Yeah,
that.
I'm not saying that we shouldn't go with them.
Hmm.
Just,
You're saying we should kill him once we get him away from the ship,
Yep.
I'm
so they
saying
can't
that
hear his screams.
Yep.
we should be aware he might be up to no good.
Yeah.
Hmm.
He's a
Captain
gnome
is
after all.
very insistent that we need this guy.
Hmm.
The captain is, so everything that you've known, Morgoth and Mal have been on this ship for quite a few seasons together. They trust each other. They seem to have a healthy respect, and they will push back. But when he says this is a navigation thing and it should go like this, she has always said, "Okay, you're the navigator. You got it."
Is he armed? What kind of stuff did he carry along with him? I mean, he was showing us his fingers before. He said he didn't have any weapons.
Yeah, so he showed Kay. He's
Oh, I'm
got
sorry.
on him, he has got and Kay, being observant as she is, would have noticed that there is definitely, while there was not any hardened calluses from wielding weapons, there are definitely calluses from wielding pins. Got bits of ink stains on the deep into the palm of his hand. He's right-handed, as he obviously writes down maps. And what he's got with him is a box that you're not sure what's in it, but you're pretty sure it's different rolls of parchment. You're not 100%. You've seen him take things out and load it in. He's got a solid, like what we would find as like a clipboard, basically, with a map on it, and has done some pre-work in advance, and you can see the outline of the island, and is excited and raring to go to map the interior of this island.
It's a lot of detail for a shape-shifting lich. I think he is a gnome.
He does have a dagger on his hip.
Well, you need that just for eating, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing you might use to cut food and say, "I'm armed," basically.
Well, if he could take us all out with a dagger, he could do it on board the ship as well. So,
Right. Yeah, you are all fairly confident that he can't hurt you all, at least in everything that has appeared. So you, as they're kind of pulling the ship over, you see they've got it held down. They've got ropes run up, tied off to some rocks or some trees, whatever various things are up the beach a little bit. They've moved. You did help them move before you left. Move all, or some of you might have, move a lot of the supplies. As you know, it's not a cargo ship, but you have a lot of food and perishables and stuff. You've moved over to one side.
Did anyone seem to be concerned or looking particular? Because we found a thing in a crate. So if those guys had any associates.
Yeah, no one seemed to be concerned about moving stuff. There seemed to be a little bit of anxiety around just repairing a ship. Apparently it's routine-ish, but things can go wrong. So depending on the shipwright that's doing the work, hopefully he does a good job. But other than that, they're just nervous about some are nervous about doing it. Some just don't want to do this work. This is different. You even heard the captain say, "Hey, you signed up for a lot of work. Just get out there and do it."
Well, that doesn't seem weird. I'm looking for people that seem weird about the cargo.
There's nothing been work about it. Yeah, so they moved stuff around interior and they pulled it over, and it all seems to be going as planned. other than a few grumbles you hear, but nothing unusual or that stands out. The most unusual thing to you all is probably that this gnome is just hell-bent on going inside and mapping the interior of the island.
I'm game.
We have experienced gnomes that are very pig-headed before, so that's not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that part, you know.
Yeah.
I mean,
As
everybody.
long as
That was weird.
as
Just for
long as
Bobby's face.
just as long as this gnome keeps its clothes on and doesn't get all oiled up, I think we'll be fine.
Maybe we could oil them both up and roll them down a hill like a race or something.
Ooh.
See what's
So
We
on
could
off
top.
you go.
We could
Uh,
have naked gnome oiled wrestling.
Oh,
I
Morgott,
don't think
who's
anybody
behind?
wants to see that.
No, we're not elves.
I
We're
don't think
gnomes.
it's the last
Yeah.
Morgott seems to be okay with leading the way here. This island does seem fairly peaceful, but you suspect Abran and Kay. You see some prints that look like at least at the very least you've seen some wild boar, some other critters on this island that could pose a, they're not monstrous threat, but a danger. Is there?
So just as a reminder, Abran's favorite terrain is coast.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
I get extra stealthy at normal pace, find twice as much food while foraging, and while tracking creatures, I learn the exact number, sizes, and how long ago they passed through the area.
Oh, the exact number, sizes. So there are some, you'd say some 600-pound boar running around on this island.
Hmm.
Well, that's
They came-
kind of dumb. The sand would make that very easy.
They came through here about, 2 hours ago, Abran.
Yeah, Abran asked the gnome, "How long ago? If this is so easy, how long ago you think they came through?"
Well, they're 600 pounds.
You don't know that. Only I know that. And it was 2 hours ago, just so you know, gnome.
You know what? A smart elf would have chosen asphalt or something difficult to track things over, but dumb elves choose sand.
Yeah, because asphalt is going to really help us right now. It seems to be
Whatever.
assisting us at the moment.
Whatever.
What is your walking
Gnome.
order? Leading or following Morgott? And what's the order you want to do it in? Corncob, where do you want to be?
I guess I'll step over that hard line right there.
Yeah, don't mind the mats.
No, it's okay. I kind of like the delineation.
Yeah, we're in
Yes.
the island at this point.
Abran should probably be in point and see if he's going to be tracking and looking at things, or
Okay.
yeah, in tracking
Well,
range. But
I usually go second, but I think we should keep the gnome between us. Apparently,
yeah. Well, we could. The gnome can be bait. We can let the gnome go forward. I think he wants to go on his own.
He's excited. It's hard to hold him back, but it's
look,
also
did
easy
you
to
borrow
hold him
that
back.
lizard man sling? You could just wear him.
Yeah.
He stops often to make notes on his paper. It doesn't look like he's
Right.
actually doing. It looks more like he's writing. He's putting points on it and scribbling some things next to him, putting some numbers next to him. But you don't see he's not drawing a map as though you can see it like a map. It looks more like it's going to be dots that he's going to connect later. Pugh, where do you want to be in this?
I'll follow Corncob.
Okay.
Is the outline of the island on his clipboard already?
It
Any
is.
dots where we are? Okay.
Yes. Fathom,
If
how do
he
you wanna-
dies, we need to get that map.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my usual position, right behind Peugeot.
Okay, and then Kay, you're usually off to the side, but any changes this time?
Nope, that's fine.
You'll be sort of cruising along off to the side of this group as they go through.
Needless to say, I think we all should be hyper aware.
Okay. So as you are going through, Abran and Morgott, but Morgott is he's looking around mostly looking at terrain, features. He actually pulls out, I mean, even though it's raining outside, he pulls out something a couple times to try to see maybe if he can catch a shadow. You're not really sure the navigational devices unless any of you are proficient with navigational tools of some sort that he's trying to utilize. But you know, he goes back to mark on his map. He covers up a lot because there's a little bit of a mist or sprinkle occasionally coming down. It's not that it ever is pouring rain, but it also never stops misting a little bit on here. So it's just a little bit damp.
Does it inhibit our range of vision?
No, not really. Possibly, yeah. Well, realistically, yes. But you can see a mile or two, which on this island doesn't matter a whole lot.
Okay.
So it doesn't inhibit it in a way that really affects you.
Is this the kind of forest that looks like it's often bogged in?
There are. Make a nature check, Corncob. In fact, as you're moving away from the shore and all those seagulls,
Abram would like to roll for initiative to call out the seagull flock.
I only got a 10.
Seem to be following and pestering us.
I'm cleric of nature. Got negatives in that too.
You're falling into the background.
Cleric of nature is just a wrong term for my character.
So as you get more into the forest, Corncob, you feel like, I don't know, some of the trees look like trees you've seen in very moist areas before, but
okay. Well, I do have a survival skill. If that
it doesn't look anything danger to your survival in here that would pop up or unusual. And as you get in, away a little bit from the ocean, the smells start to be a little more earthy as the rain's coming down, pelting on the trees. You're moving through a few different areas. Abran, I need you to make one of them wonderful survival checks as you're sort of leading the way. This is using your abilities in the forest if you have any.
I do. I get double proficiency. So 21.
All right. You look at some, it looks like some leaves are kind of overturned. And when I say leaves, I don't mean like little oak leaves. I mean big banana plant leaves, large palm sort of leaves, have these little piercings through it. Some have been overturned, some have been moved and like dragging ways, and you realize the only thing that could do this is a very large insect-like creature.
Ooh. I share that with the rest of the party. And does it seem like it's being pulled away, like it's going away from us? And there's a track of these kind of trampled leaves?
It crosses the trail occasionally.
Okay.
I want to ask, how large? 12 feet? 2 feet? How large is large?
Abran, you would estimate, I don't know what you're going to tell Pugil, but about 10 feet.
Yeah. So, Pugil, it's about 20 feet are big. They're huge.
What are they?
All right, bugs.
No, they're about 10 feet, Pugil.
Just still bugs? Huge. Do we know if they're an ant or a centipede or a moth? What?
And they're as near as you can tell, Abran, they have probably 6 legs.
Yeah, so they're antish, sort of. And how long ago did they pass through?
So at first, the first one you saw, it looked like about 6 hours, but this last one that caught your attention probably passed through about 10 minutes ago.
Oh, gosh.
All right, so keep on your toes. They are about 10 minutes ago. Giant boars, giant ant boars.
I don't think the ship's cursed. I think we are.
Yeah. Oh, we've got a fun DM that likes to roll for initiative. That's what we have.
I'd rather fight the boar because we can at least bring it back for dinner.
You can eat ant. They got a lot of protein.
Especially
You can
them
eat
20-footers.
Elves can eat
Yeah.
ants. I would like to listen and see if I can hear anything moving around us. A large insect that large ought to make noise if it's perforating foliage.
Right. Make a perception check, Pugh. Are you skilled with perception? Are you proficient, rather?
How do I know?
Do you have a little dot next to it in D&D Beyond or on your character sheet, or pluses?
No, I do
beyond
not.
your perception is wisdom, so any pluses beyond wisdom would indicate your
I do not. I am not proficient. I'm
okay.
only moderately perceptive
Make
at
this
all.
check at disadvantage when you're listening specifically for this creature in the forest in the rain.
In the rain. Oh,
Lolzors. I roll a 3.
Okay. I mean, it's a tough roll. So
how many ants was I able to detect?
how many ants?
How many different ants? Yeah, or how many of these insectish creatures, ant boars or ants?
So you feel like there's more than one, less than.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't know exactly because each time you see this crossing of the path, there's one. So
Mm-hmm.
your detection is that there is one. However, just knowledge as you have of this sort of area would indicate that this is not a single solitary creature. There are multiple of them, but they run solo most of the time.
Mm.
So how many? You're not sure. If any, you suspect there could be half a dozen of them, but
10-foot ants we should be able to smell.
you also suspect that you won't see more than one or two at a time.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
What does the navigator gnome think about all this? Does he have any comments on?
Oh, do you tell him about the ants? Because this is to him. Just to clarify, he is in a bubble of cartography.
Yeah. Okay.
So anything that you don't specifically stop him and call out to him is just you guys babbling behind him.
Yeah, I knock him on the top of the head and say, "Dude, there's big, huge insects running around. There's big insects running around.
Are they here? Are we in danger?
Potentially.
Well,
you've been on the morsel.
You've been on the ship for the last few weeks. Stuff happens, so get ready."
Okay, I'll do that. But okay, well, good luck.
He's dead. Ants are gonna get him so hard.
Good luck.
Goes right back down to marking, taking points of measurement, points of interest. However, Kay, your passive perception, I think, is like 24 or 21, 22.
$22.
Fathom. Okay. 22. Okay.
I can. So would my passive perception be increased right now? Because I have a normal +5 perception.
Yes,
during
they'd be increased by 5.
I would get double. Okay.
No, increased by 5,
so,
not double.
So my passive would be 20 then.
Okay. Abran and Kay. Everybody else, Abran has made you aware, but at the same time, Kay may be slightly ahead of you, Abran. There is.
She usually is.
A rustle in some of the undergrowth, and a little. You get just a little gleam, a little hint of a shiny carapace.
Ooh.
Of a very. You weren't quite sure. It did not look like an ant in that moment, but it looked more like perhaps a beetle of some sort.
Ooh.
And it stopped moving.
All right.
Well, if the beetles are this big, I mean, just an average squirrel is going to be huge.
So
Do we all see the little
no,
glint of this
no,
beetle
no, no.
carapace?
It's just Kay and Abran. So I'm not sure what they want to do with that information yet. I'm going to give them a moment.
I step to the side since what's the little gnome's name? Morgoth or Morgot or
Morgoth.
Morsel.
Morgoth is
No.
his name. Yeah.
Yo, Knucklehead. Stay where you are and step back a little bit.
Oh
Just-
my.
Yeah. And I whisper back to Corncob, trying not to draw any additional attention from the beetle, for him to look over that direction as well. And if I can safely whisper it to the other gnome, I'll be happy to do that too, if it's within whispering distance.
That's about as far back as you can whisper.
Yeah.
But you just, as you look back at Kay, you can see that
Yeah.
she has seen it as well.
Okay.
Kay?
Now.
Oh, wait.
Okay, go ahead.
No. Okay. Kay?
The beetle's just sitting still right now, right?
Yeah, it looked like it shifted positions and then stopped moving.
Okay.
Once he points it out, can I see it?
No, but you can't see it specifically as, like he said, beetle, and you see thing, tree, bush, rock, person, place, plant. There's something, but you can't identify a shape or movement. What's the head? What's the butt? What's the legs? There's just, you do see an object though where he indicated an object.
But the foliage is too thick to make out the details.
The foliage and the very statuesque holding that whatever this creature is taken, almost frozen. Kay, being closer to the back, but you still saw it. Is there anything you want to do?
I'm going to let Fathom know since she's back in the back with me. And then I'm going to get out my bow and take aim at the area where I think the giant bug is.
Okay. Okay. I need you to all roll initiative. Let's see. Kay.
18.
Fathom.
15.
Abran.
16.
Corncob.
14.
You, Joel.
8.
Okay.
Way to go, gnome.
I wonder how
gonna
much
do?
a captain's going to charge us if we lose the navigator, if he'll take it away from our pay.
So shifting a little bit, you see this creature suddenly scurry out towards you, Abran. Like just full scurry.
He just wants a hug.
Yeah, that's all they want. Now, as you do, Abran, you see that this is a beetle, but much larger than most beetles you've seen. It seems to have a giant single pointy, pokey apparatus on its front and two horn-like appendages on it as well. I think you know. Are you skilled? Are you proficient with nature? Are you?
I am not.
Okay.
Proficient with nature.
Oddly enough, this is not necessarily in the arena of things you have seen and in the past. So therefore, you don't really know necessarily about those appendages, but they look like they could be dangerous. And it comes rushing out at you. As it does, and kind of lowers its like horn, you're not sure, on the front and stabs at you. That's an 18 to hit you.
That hits me.
Okay. So as it does, it was very surprising how strong this thing is. It pushes you. Well, make an athletics check. Make a strength athletics check. Yeah, athletics check.
20, not natural.
Okay. So it's, if you weren't ready and in the right position, it would have absolutely pushed you off your feet with this. This, interestingly enough, this is almost, it feels serrated as it slices up against you. It also brutally sort of hits you with the front of its head. And you take 20 points of damage.
Ooh.
Ow!
As it pummels into you.
Ouch.
Which you were not expecting. And you notice that it begins to sting like a
Oh my gosh.
paper cut across you almost, or a very thin blade. Sorry, I went paper cut. It is now Kay's turn. Kay, you see this thing charge at Abran under the bush. Also, Kay, you can determine with your perception that it's starting to like make a motion to grab him, like it's about to just run away with Abran if it could.
I'm going to
Does
shout out.
it have like? I'm
Hold
sorry.
on. Yeah, go ahead, Kay.
I'm going to shout out. It's going to try to grab him, and then I'm going to shoot it.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how many more of those mating prong attacks he can withstand.
Yeah.
We
don't want a pregnant elf.
A 10.
Oh, a 10. No, it's sort of just.
He's already half
It's
mushroom.
got a little bit of a carapace, so poof, it sort of pings off of the carapace as you attack it. However, you all heard her say it's going to try to grab him. Abran, it's your turn.
Okay, I'm going to cast Zephyr Strike. So and then since he's on me, I have to use my sword, and I'm gonna basically my intent is to attack him twice and move away.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
So K did not hit, correct?
K did no, did not damage.
Okay. So there's no damage. Okay. And then hold on. So my first attack is a 25 to hit with
pierces.
9 points of damage.
Okay.
On the first one, and then the second one, since there was some damage, that will be a 18 to hit.
Yeah, you found a joint that's open in its carapace.
12. Ooh, and 20 points of damage. Take that. Here, I took 20. Here's 20 back to you. Okay. And I would like, in my movement away, can I grab the little gnome and drag him with me?
Yeah, of course. He's not resistant to it. As soon as you pick him up, you're at half movement. So you get
I would
10 feet.
Yeah, I just want.
Then you got him.
Yeah, perfect. And I want to just put him behind me, but move away from being directly on him.
Right. You get that's about as far as you can get.
Okay.
After you've picked him up, it slows you down a little bit. Okay.
That's okay.
Fathom, you're up next.
I'm going to Eldritch Blast it.
Okay.
Maybe. 15.
Yes. Right in his, where you assume his face is, if you could see his eyes.
One other little caveat: when I moved away, when I'm done, can I throw him behind me?
Yes.
Or so he's not. Okay.
I'll assume he's behind you.
Okay.
15 total.
Okay. You have sort of, you hear a little, this little screech when you hit him with that. He doesn't like being hit, especially from things he can't see.
We don't like being hit either. You should have
Well,
thought about
I
that.
suppose not. Corn Cob, it's your turn.
I'm going to cast a first level guiding bolt at him.
Okay.
With a 19 mana. Well, 19 plus 7, I guess.
Yeah, that will strike soundly. A big radiant beam of energy around him, basically.
So 15 points of damage.
Ooh.
And then I'm going to also use my my bonus action to cast Spiritual Weapon.
Okay, this weapon appears right beside him. Attack. Go ahead and attack.
And then I'll hit him with that too. If I can. Yeah, that's a 15.
Yeah, and then it smacks solidly against his carapace.
Okay, and so that's another.
Or legs, or legs.
$10 more points.
10 more points. Okay, wow. Pugil.
Can I check nature to see if I have any insight into this creature?
Absolutely. So if you want to take your whole action to do it, you can roll. If not, I'll just take your passive. So what is your modifier? What's your plus that you would add to a nature check?
+7.
Okay, so 17 would be your check. Are you okay with that, or did you want to use your action to roll?
No, I don't want to use my action.
Okay.
I'll use my passive.
So it seems like this beetle was interested in coming out and grabbing a little bite to eat. It seems pretty natural. Like maybe inflated in size, but not evil or malevolent.
Natural as a 10-foot beetle seems to anybody.
Yeah. Natural, if you could have a night of the beetle, if you will.
Okay, but it doesn't squirt flame or any kind of weird stuff to my knowledge.
No, it seems just like a enlarged normal beetle. There could be some acids in there. Beetles have been known to be able to squirt bodily fluids of different kinds or smells.
Ooh, a bombardier beetle.
Well, I will bardically inspire Corn Cob, and then I'm going to step back to cover Fathom and shoot the beetle with my little miniature crossbow.
Okay.
Oh, my lord.
Inspired, step back to cover Fathom, and take a shot, Pugil.
Fathom feels so much safer, I'm sure.
A 13.
That is exactly what you need to find just the right location to strike them.
Squirrel in a nut.
6 points of damage.
This beetle just goes and just rolls over, legs up on its back.
You almost feel bad.
Oh, the gnome did it. The gnome. Go gnome.
The mighty slayer of beetles.
Yeah, I'll march forward and plant one foot on the carcass of the beetle.
Yeah.
As you do, it just sort of twitches a little bit.
Yeah. Doing your 6 points of damage. Yes. Six
I'm guessing the carapace is worth something, but we don't need to get it until we come back.
Okay. Yeah, you can just pull it over to a safe spot if you wanted to. Where you can come back for
Probably hammer that carapace over the hole in the hull of the ship.
Yeah.
So
that'd be great.
You feel like this thing would have been, so all of you who have been nature paying attention to the island, feel like maybe this beetle thought the approaching creature was one of those boar, and this would have been a match for the boar and could have had a nice meal out of them. But it ended up on the other side of magic and arrows and things it was not ready for in attacking you.
So I'll ask the elf if he thinks there's more than one.
There's more than one. There's more than one and less than 10.
Well, let's keep going before my spell runs out then.
Okay.
Okay, let's get that off. You continue up through the forest a little longer, and then let's see. Hold on, I'm gonna roll some. You hear?
Now, are we moving? I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Pugh.
Are we moving just into the interior? Or are we moving along the shore? Or
Into
how is
the
he
interior.
mapping?
He's going.
Okay.
He. I mean, you're
We
kind of.
don't know how far
guessing
across
at-
this island is. We only know the horizon.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
But he's
Okay.
going straight through. You feel like.
Okay.
But he's got a bit of a map of at least half to maybe 3/4, at least 2/3 of the outside. So you've got a good feeling that this island is probably teardrop shape, and you're on one of the sides of the teardrop going directly across.
Are we heading toward the rounder end or the pointy end?
Just from a rounded side to a rounded side, the belly,
Okay.
basically. The belly to
All
the
right.
belly.
Is the point to our right or to our left?
The point would be to your left, the top of the teardrop. The bottom of the
Okay.
teardrop would be to your right. And he's going across. And at one point, he takes this sort of audible gasp. He's like, oh, look there. And you've all been looking, but he looks up. There's a mountain. There is just some rocks. You're not sure you understand exactly at first what he's pointing out. And then, Kay, you feel like he's pointing out a shape in the foliage. It looks like it resembles a path almost. It doesn't look like an animal trail necessarily, though. It looks like that plants have grew up around what was maybe a hard rock or cobbled trail.
Ooh.
So he hops onto this rock, looks excited, and says, look. Again, pointing up again to the top of this little knoll. It's very rocky. There are a lot of trees around it. So it's not super clear, but you can kind of see a rise and maybe a trail that leads up to it.
But it looks like a cobblestone path.
No, well, not necessarily. It looks like what you would get if you allowed nature to grow up around something like a cobblestone path or any stone path at all.
Okay.
But it's on elevated ground. It's not like a creek bed.
It's not like a creek bed. No, it starts to go up towards the top of this rise, small rise.
And I'll ask him, what is it? What does that mean? What am I supposed to be seeing here?
So he says, well, there's a shape not natural there.
So what do you think it is? Oh, gnome navigator, mapper.
Extraordinaire.
Well, I don't
You think
know.
this is ruins? Is that what you're getting at?
Possibly, yes, possibly ruins.
Let's go check it out.
But it's the construction of some sentient being.
Yes, exactly. What a surprise, a treat.
Can our elf tracker take a look at that path
elf should
before
go
we get too
check
far along it?
Out.
You want to
Yeah,
jump
why
up
not?
ahead of him, Abran, and take a look?
Sure, I'll investigate.
Okay.
The path seems to go on forward a ways.
Yeah, go ahead and make your nature check.
Okay. All right. Can I do survival check or nature check? Am I doing nature or survival? Nature?
Survival.
I'm better
Survival's
at,
fine.
okay. So that'd be a 28.
Okay. So this path does sort of lead up this knoll. There's trees
Uh-huh.
surrounding it. And then at the top, as you at the top of this sort of rise, as
Ooh.
you kind of look at it go up, you see this sort of stone feature that is rounded. It has definitely been it
It's
has
there's an
definitely been
earthquake.
as an earthquake.
Yeah. Oh, it's
Ooh.
but weirdly, everything just now comes to focus to me. I can see the
I
feature
know.
so much
It
better. Yeah,
is
it's great. It's
it has
crazy.
been shaped.
The beetle poison's wearing off.
Yeah, it took my perception a little bit to dial in, but okay. Let's go. Let's
Sorry.
go investigate.
Laughing at something John said. Go ahead. Let's go. What? Sorry.
Let's go investigate. I share with the party what I can ascertain from my
That sounds very cool.
investigation, and let's go check it out. Y'all ready to do that?
Indeed.
Sure.
Okay. All right. We go forward.
Okay. The gnome is like behind you, a little timid, but not entirely. Pretty kind of bold up here. Well, I'll put you up maybe this
Well,
far.
I'm gonna not be too far behind.
Right.
Yeah. I would like to be investigating for any traps that might be set, since I haven't seen Indiana Jones, I'm sure, but I'm keenly aware of the potential.
I've also got decent survival skills, so I'm gonna be looking for anomalies along the path.
Okay.
Should I make a perception check or?
Yeah, go ahead. Make a perception check.
Okay. How about since I still have the double plus in perception, I'm assuming, I have a 19.
Okay. Well, if you're rolling, you have advantage.
Okay. Yeah. Well, let me see. Yeah. So that would be even better. It'd be a 28.
Okay. So what you see an area that sort of starts. It definitely looks like it's not quite natural. It looks like some old sort of elven, perhaps, carvings. They look very old, and this Malgot Margot is very Morgot is very, I don't know, he's excitedly sort of writing down the markings. He's got it on the top of the hill. He's got a little arrow pointing to it, and next to it he's got some of the different patterns you see sort of scribbled out already in the side text, and he's looking around very interestingly, and you can recognize all the patterns he's writing down. However, you see some that he's not, and you see a little bit of symmetry to the layout, except for some of the natural trees and stuff that have overgrown things. There is almost like this was designed as some sort of temple or altar or something like that.
Can I read any of the writings since they're in Elvish?
There's no writing specifically. So it's just the patterns that you would see in the design are
Okay.
very elvish in nature.
And it looks like this. It's a dais, like a darn it.
Yeah, it's like a dais at the top of a bit of a rocky climb on a hill.
Okay.
Could I cast detect magic?
Yeah.
Just to check.
Okay. As you're approaching, little detect magic.
30-foot radius.
You once you've got it cast, are you focusing attention on this dais in front of you, or how are you searching around?
I'm going to look around. Just, there could be things that have been overgrown that
Okay.
are part of this.
30 foot.
So I'll just kind of spin.
So as you get up, moving around a little bit, I'm not going to put you too close, but within this sort of 20-foot zone here, back the way you all came up, there is a little magical glow. Looks like it's on a stone. You don't recognize, you don't see it as magical immediately. There's not necessarily a reason to, but and what I mean is with normal eyes, like there's nothing that would indicate it's magical. But when you look with the detect magic on, you do notice that this rock towards the bottom, it's almost flat, like a placard or something that might have been at the bottom. You sort of bypassed where it would be. It seems to be glowing with some sort of magic, and you can't quite tell from up here behind it.
I will tell everyone and then ask Kay if she'd like to dial in the goggles, possibly see more than I can see. But maybe we want to check this out before we mess with the dais.
Okay. You notify everyone. And Kay, from up here, you probably won't be able to see much more than Fathom could see. You'd have to get to the front of it where the writing is.
That's fine. I'll go down there.
Okay.
Does Kay speak Elvish?
Perhaps.
That is a good question, but I don't think so.
I will ask Kay if she speaks Elvish, and if she doesn't, then I will go down with her, because I'm very interested in the fact that these are elven ruins. See if there's, you said there was writing, so.
Yep, I do not speak Elvish.
Okay. So when you get down on this side, you do, Abran, I mean, maybe if you look at it just right, you can see where there were some runes. It's very difficult to see, would be very difficult for you to read. Okay. However, if you're looking through your goggles and looking for magic, the traces of magical writing is very clear across here. You would be able to read it perfectly if you spoke whatever language this is. It does remind you of Elven script.
Can I just write it out so that other people can look at it, might be able to understand it?
Yep. So between the two of you, Abran, you see the script that Kay's writing out. This is going to take a little bit of time, probably just a couple minutes. So hang tight while you're doing that. And then up top, what do the three of you want to do with up here?
Is there can we see any other paths that lead up to this dais thing, or is it just one?
So there was the one you took, and then there was one that looks like it's fallen away and broken away that came right by where that stone was that Kay had pointed out, that Kay and Abran are now examining. It doesn't look like any other paths lead up here. And they would have been very symmetrical on the sides of it at one time, coming up two paths.
Where is this in relation to the area of denser foliage we saw?
It's
number one.
Really close to it.
And number 2, can I use my survival skill to be able to ascertain if some of these trees maybe aren't naturally belonging to this area?
Ooh, a nature. You would need a nature check for that.
Well, I'll try a nature check. Why not?
Okay.
I can try a nature check. I'm nature boy.
Okay.
If you were to
No,
say,
I got a
"Hey,
16.
oh, okay.
So it doesn't really, like, you see some trees that seem right, but then you see some trees that seem like something you would have seen in swampy marshlands, and this does not strike you as a swampy marshland.
Okay.
Fathom, or is there anything you want to do up here? Corncob and Pugh were examining the nature around the area.
I mean, since I've got the detect magic working still, I will kind of extend my perimeter, see if there are any other things we might have missed.
Okay. As you move in a little closer to the dais, you're not that far, but making sure that the top of it falls within 30 feet of you, which is getting right about to here, top middle of it.
I'm definitely not going to touch it.
No. You're still
Oh, you should touch it.
15 feet from the outer part of it. The very
Touch
center of it has a little magic glow. Given the time it's going to take Kay to trace those out and Abran to read them, you could focus on it for a few rounds to see that it looks like a conjuration magic.
I'm willing to get
Ooh.
closer to it if I don't touch it. So conjuration. That would stun it.
Little closer, but don't touch it. All right.
Yeah.
I will accompany her up there. I'll
Okay.
be up there right next to her, but make sure
Well,
I'm behind
let's
her
all
so
go
she'll
then. I'm
absorb the
not going
force
to
of
stay
any
up here with
blow.
this stupid gnome.
That brave gnome.
Behind
Yes.
her?
Let's all go. I'm going with you.
Yes.
Come on, you stupid gnome.
Pujol the Brave.
Yes. Hey, I did my job. I
No, I
killed
didn't mean
your dumb
Pujol. I meant
beetle.
our navigator. He needs to stick with us.
Oh, okay, yeah. The navigator's more than happy. He's just waiting for you guys to give the okay. I'd like to take a rubbing. There's several.
Don't rub
Okay.
anything. Stop rubbing
Oh, rub
stuff.
it, rub it.
Never
God.
rub anything.
Dang gnomes.
Well, not never.
That's
It's a
between you
long-
and your mushroom.
Yeah.
It's a long voyage.
But just tell me if it's safe. I'll go right up there. I can see a rune in the center. I'd love
We don't know if it's safe. We don't know if it's
okay.
safe.
I am patiently awaiting.
We've got people reading the manual. Just give me a minute.
He's pulled out some charcoal and a very thin paper that he's
What if
protecting
we
from
put
the
you in
mist.
that tree and you can draw it from up there? How about that?
He's got to rub it.
Yes, a rubbing would be the. Well, you're not up there, Abram.
Yeah, I know. I was there. He'd be rubbing.
He'll definitely put an umbrella up if he needs to. Whatever he needs to, he's prepared. Okay, so down below, Abran, once you can watch Kay writing this out, and you're reading it as she's writing it. It's not instantaneous because it's a script that she doesn't know, so she has to kind of make sure that it's accurate as you go by. Make a history check, Abran. This is disadvantage for you.
Oh, okay. Ooh, a 5.
A 5, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't strike
But
me
history is an intelligence check.
It is.
So I would get, it would be a 6.
Okay, 6.
Sorry.
Better than a 5. Better than a 5. So yeah, you get it. You get up there. You're like, okay, I got this. You start reading it. It doesn't ring any bells to you, but it's got in the Elven language, it's got a little bit of a poetic kind of meter to it. You can't identify where you've heard it before necessarily, or if you've even heard it because you're reading it. This is
It's on the tip of my tongue, but I just
Yeah.
can't place it. Sing a couple bars.
However, it is about offering a blade to receive the treasure. So the translation-wise, as you kind of read it through, so it makes perfect sense to you. To you, it is offer the blade to receive the treasures.
Okay.
Be warned of.
Be warned. Listen to this part.
As I'm deciphering this, I'm verbalizing it so Kay can hear it at the same time.
And Kay,
she's our record keeper.
That's true. That's true.
So it's like a first grader doing phonics, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be warned.
Yeah.
So it's a reverse King Arthur. You have to give it your sword, and then you get the treasure.
Right, exactly. It's a reverse King Arthur.
Well, that's how life works.
All treasures come with a price.
Ooh.
It says that?
You got an extra gnome.
Literally, yes. In Elven, it's definitely more of a give yourself to prove worthy of what you receive.
Oh. Let's sacrifice the gnome and see what happens.
It obviously wants an elf, you dumb elf.
No. Elves don't want sacrificed elves.
Who's using a sword and is an elf and wants a better
It's constructed by an extinct race of Joker
Oh.
elves. I can tell already.
Oh.
Mm.
All right. So have we gathered everything we have from the stone? It seems like.
Here, yes. However, I will tell you that, well, with that history check, you know, as much as you know is.
Can I do an Arcana check on it?
No.
Or is it?
No.
Okay.
So clearly there is something you must overcome and sacrifice, but you'll get something good out of it. That is your takeaway from this.
That would be Abram's takeaway, definitely.
Or you can walk away. It's almost like a.
Mm-mm.
Do you want to take the prize or do you want to walk away?
No, we got to go for it.
What's behind door number 2?
Right.
I think it's more like what's behind conjuration room number 1.
Right.
Yeah.
So I will take that information, and if we're done investigating, we can't get any more here. We'll take it up and tell the rest of the party what we've learned.
Okay. Kay, you're going to go up there with him?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll let them know about the thing at the center and that this guy wants to rub it really bad.
Yeah.
So in the city we just came from, we encountered a couple different sets of elven, not exactly ruins, but definitely leftovers from before the humans settled that area. Other than elvishness, does any of this have anything in common with some of those areas?
It absolutely does. It really feels very similar to one of those areas. And it immediately kind of sets off alarm bells on the task you've been given to look for areas of interest for this mage and drop her trinkets there.
We don't have that crazy dagger anymore, do we?
Which crazy dagger?
The mushrooms dagger.
Oh, no.
The one we gave back to the devil.
Okay.
Yeah, you gave it.
Okay, never mind. All right, damn. We have trinkets to drop. I don't see. They didn't say that. It didn't say anything about not rubbing on the thing. So if the gnome wants to make some rubbings, I think that's fine.
We lose more good gnomes that way.
Okay. I mean, it's okay. You want to? Whoa, Abram! You wanna let the gnome go up there and rub? Do you think it's safe?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think it's safe, but
Okay.
we don't. We
He
we
just
tried to
Don't rub it
perceive
with your
traps,
blade.
right? We looked for traps as best as we could.
Yeah.
Yeah. He hops up
I
as
think
soon as.
Everett's just trying to sacrifice the gnome.
No. Aberrant's
Using-
chaotic good.
As soon as
Using
Got a
my
good vibe about
dwarven
this.
masonry thing, there's no moving parts that I can see on this dais, is there?
well, you haven't been up to the very center. It's hard to tell from this plane because you're flat with it. But no, not that you can
Well,
see from here.
I'll get up as close as I can and look.
As soon as any of you, which in this case is Aberrant, gives any hint of, yeah, go ahead and do it to the gnome, he is up there like, yeah, I'm going to go rub it. And he's slapping his paper down. And so you follow him up onto this and you
How
start
did this
looking down.
gnome live this
dais.
long? He must be one tough son of a bitch.
Don't let him touch it with a weapon, though.
So before he puts
Yeah.
the paper down, it looks like to you there is, make a perception check, Corn Cob.
23.
Oh, wow. Yeah, he's just getting this thin paper over it. He's pulled up this like leaf umbrella over the top at the same time, and he's got his charcoal out, and he's starting to run. But as the paper is starting
Hey,
to
wait.
just slide over the top, it looks like the opening to a sheath almost in it, in the very top center of this room. And so
Okay, stop for a minute,
Okay, he stops.
morsel. Here's where you put your sword.
I don't have a sword.
I have a sword.
Person who has a sword, do you want to stick your sword in here?
I'm just
I'll
saying,
do it.
here's where you put it. I don't know if you should put it in there because we don't know if you get it back.
I'll do it.
All right, well,
Okay.
everyone else clear
Sure.
off the platform.
Let me get off the platform first.
Everyone clear off the platform. Let's ring around in a circle.
Oh, you
Yeah,
think-
I'll
Okay.
try to pull the gnome off too for a minute.
Okay, he looks very downtrodden. Okay, I understand. Okay, I'm
Now
gonna
let the elf teach you really how to be foolhardy. Here we go.
Now I've put you in sort of a 4 circle around there. You can tell me if you don't like that, if this is too close. There's K over here. You could be there. You could be down a little bit lower, not up on the rock, but you're not on this constructed area. Fathom,
Yeah, I
you're
want to
here.
be farther away from it
Yeah,
than
I
that.
also
Okay.
vote for further away. That's my feel is further away.
I'll stay just at the edge of it. That's fine with me.
Okay.
Thanks,
And
Corn
I would
Cob.
like
For
to
a
be
penny and for a pound.
All right.
Someone's got to pull a
wanna be
smoking
stand-
corpse off of there.
I want to be standing right next to Corn Cob,
Oh, okay, right next to Corn Cob. No problem. There you go.
so I can easily duck behind him.
Okay. Abran, you go up. You just slide your. Okay.
No ceremony, no nothing.
No,
No.
no, he didn't even wash himself or anything.
Okay. This
No purification ritual, no nothing.
this glowing sort of beam. So this is the one magical thing you noticed in there. It sort of conically comes out from this hole in the center. You feel a little rumbling or a little shaking almost, but not as though something is moving, just as though there's a harmonic resonance that just throughout the whole I don't know, ruin, if you will. And I'm tempted. Yeah. We'll just. Why not? Abran, first of all, make a Constitution saving throw as you slide that sword in there.
Okay.
That's step one.
Oh,
21.
You won't be. Oh,
21. Okay.
21.
So you
This is
feel
what you get
almost
for
a sort
sticking
of.
your sword in strange holes.
I know. That's absolutely.
well, the I guess the mushroom queen worked out. So let's see.
I think this.
Yeah,
is
that's a good barometer.
I feel like you guys are going to hate me after this. So you slide it in.
Oh, wow.
This glow just appears from it. Everything starts to resonate a little bit, and it starts to crumble away, Abran, at the inside. I assume you're going to take a step back, make a dexterity saving
Oh,
throw.
it's a missile silo. This is great.
An 18.
Okay. You able to save. As it crumbles away, you take a step back, just bits of stone comes in, and you see this reptilian-like head pop up. And then you see another. And then another.
Look, I'm headed
And-
back to
Oh
the ship.
no!
Rising out of this at you.
Oh my
Damn it,
God.
Rhonda. That's who's
What?
Julie sculpted that?
Yeah, Julie sculpted that. We
Thank-
can't
Didn't
yell
we
at
fight one of
anybody.
these in our dream
Julie.
sequence?
So it pops up as it's sort of sliding out. And time frame wise, this is where I have to end the game this evening.
Oh, does he lose his sword?
Yeah, it fell into the thing. It's not in his hand.
Oh, so you
So
stand there naked, about to be snake chow.
Hopefully Gene
I
will
love
be
it.
done being moved next time.
I'm sure he'll have followed you up if he's moved. If he's not, then you're on your own.
Yeah, we're dead. We're just dead. I'm just going to run as fast as
rising
my little leg
out
will
of
carry
this
me all the way
is-
back to the ship.
A challenge where apparently you'll get some sort of elven reward if you survive, maybe? I'm not sure. But there
Is
you
it going
go.
to be a better elf?
Maybe a more cautious elf. What you'll learn is a more cautious elf.
They don't come that way.
That looks nasty.
Oh.
It's
Yeah.
gonna be well, good luck.
Thanks, Julie.
And you without a sword. Oh no.
Yeah.
He's got a
Oh, no.
bow.
Just-
Yeah, he's more
You're
of a bow guy.
I'm much more of a bow guy.
Well, and
No,
a
you're
gun.
not.
You haven't used your
And a
gun in a
gun?
long time.
I know.
That's true. Okay, so that is where we have to end tonight because I feel like the rest of this might go too long, and I don't want to drag it on too long. But it's a nice. I have
Ooh,
no idea
let's
what's
keep
gonna happen
playing.
next time.
Let's keep playing.
One shot, one kill.
I'm good. I can stay. Let's fight.
Don't
this-
beat Frank up.
It just won't be. It won't be quick enough. I want to drag it on.
Oh.
Some of you need to sleep and rest.
Uh.
Oh wow. Okay.
That's a good shot. Who painted the Hydra?
Yeah,
Take a little
I like a
screenshot.
cliffhanger.
Was this Shibi Dragon that painted this? Shibi Dragon painted this from our community.
Oh, wow.
That's
good
cool.
job.
Mm.
Yeah.
Thank you. I will pass it on. So, yeah, and
We'll
Pendrick
probably
asked who
take care of
sculpted
the first one okay. But I think,
Hey,
I
Rhonda.
think maybe the second and third one might be tough.
Would
Well,
Rhonda
we
would
can
Ron
kill one.
approve of a green Hydra?
Probably not. He has feelings.
Okay. All right.
it. Hmm.
If we kill one,
Desert creatures
one of
can't be
them's
green.
mouth will be full of elf. That'll
Hmm.
only leave 3.
You'll
No,
be
2
good.
heads grow back for every one you cut off, though.
Ooh,
Oh, yeah.
gotta be careful.
Are there
Yeah, but
3 heads
if
or
we can-
5 heads?
5
to our
5
okay.
heads.
If we harvest the teeth, though, we'll have an army of undead.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Thanks, Jason.
Boy, then we'll be great. We're just getting more and more good by the adventure. Have you noticed this?
It's
Yeah.
good. So I'm
Half
March forth
fungal.
with our army of undead after violating an elven temple.
Yeah.
well. I mean,
And probably
maybe
losing
fuzzy
a
on
crack
some website.
navigator along the way.
I don't know if this is
We sh-
violated. I think Abram did what he thought he was supposed to do.
I think we
I-
did
I was-
follow the directions.
No, that
Yes.
maybe not. Maybe not.
No,
So-
Abram followed the directions. He was inspired by his Elver's heritage, and that's what it wants me to do.
It's a sacrilege.
Yeah.
Gonna learn something.
Yeah.
So my thank yous to Sirenscape again for background ambience music, ambient sound effects, Sidwi for our camera operation, and John for our technical direction. Everybody watching, thank you Reaper Miniatures for allowing me to come on your channel, and thank you to all the players for having this, for being just great people and D&D players and all the things that come bundled up with that. It's always an awesome time.
We love you too, Frank.
Absolutely, I love you.
But you
So,
don't kill us.
well, I mean, that's beside
Then
the
we'll
point.
stop loving you. Yeah.
Well, I hope not.
Yeah.
I'm going to let everybody say something, but I think Pugh wants to say something before our total outro.
Of course he does.
Bobby?
Where did that tree model behind the Hydra come from?
Dwarven
cool.
Forge.
It's Dwarven Forge.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, the
That's a
scenery
good
was
tree.
super cool today. The little
Yeah,
element.
yeah.
It
This
was
is
nice.
from-
I look
Yeah,
super.
I like the weeping fir also.
This is from Dwarven Forge's mountain Kickstarter they had. I don't know. The one they're fulfilling now, roughly, from where all
Okay.
those bits of tile
Yeah,
and terrain.
very,
looks
very
great.
cool.
Nice.
Cute little fur.
Yeah, it's unusual stuff.
Yep, we'll remember it.
So I
We'll
will
carve
let
it on
all
our tombstones.
that might happen. I'll let all the players plug anything they have coming up. I know that everybody's busy and has some things they might want to share and not others, but I'll let them decide. And we'll start with Bobby.
I got nothing to plug, but I just want to, as usual, thank Frank and Ann and John this time and everybody who makes this possible. It was super fun. I'm glad to have survived another episode, and I'm filled with remorse that Abran did. But there's always 2 weeks from now.
There's always 2 weeks from now. What a motto. Corncob. Or Jason.
Well, thanks to Frank and the wonderful crew, and thanks for John. Thanks, Abram, for hanging us in a suspenseful cliffhanger for the next 2 weeks. I'll not easily forget that one. Nothing really to plug right now. We do have, I believe Bone 6 has been announced, so I assume sometime in the next month we'll have to start sculpting some miniatures. Also, make sure and tune into the Crow's Nest. Our sculpting series is going along as well as can be expected. Trying to teach Michael Proctor how to sculpt. So that's about it for
there
me.
goes the bus. Even not even on our show.
No,
There comes the
it wasn't
Crow's Nest
negative.
bus.
It was just as well as can be expected. So a lot of people expect a lot of you. So
Yeah, look at that.
yeah, there you go.
That's what we've done so
Perfect.
far.
Yeah.
It's a giant squirrel.
And who's our guest
Sure.
next week?
Ooh. So next week, we don't know that. We may not.
Yeah, we're not sure about the
Justin's-
format yet. There's some technical
Yeah.
challenges.
Justin's in Hawaii,
We'll figure
so
it
we
out.
have to figure out some details.
Well, yeah, but the time is still Tuesday, 5 o'clock, right?
Time will not change.
All right.
Yes.
The screen might look a little different just because we have to do things a little differently. So
Tune in for that.
we'll announce it in the future.
Michael.
Thanks, Frank. Thanks, Ann. Thanks, John. Thanks for who all painted all the miniatures tonight, especially the Hydra. Again,
Yeah, it really looks
fantastic
good.
job. I'm excited for 2 weeks from now. Sometimes you just gotta stick it in there and see what happens. So I think that's the motto of this episode.
I think that's Abran's motto.
Yeah, no kidding.
And
Stick it in.
let's
See what happens.
I thought you got over that.
The penicillin always helps, but
Mm.
yeah. So check us out. Hopefully next Tuesday, the Crow's Nest will be back, and we'll be doing something fun. And then yeah, that's all I have really. Thanks again, and thanks everybody for watching and paying attention and commenting. It's always great to see that stuff.
Thank you, Mike. Rhonda.
Thank you to Frank and Ann and John and everybody, all my fun friends. But speaking of Bone 6, I saw earlier in the chat, but I don't know what the command is, that John did something where you could sign up to an email list to get notified as soon as it goes live. So I don't know if John could do that again, because I don't know how. There he goes. So if you weren't here earlier and you'd like to get notified the the first few minutes, because I guess Kickstarter doesn't notify everyone at once, but sign up there. There will not be a Beyond the Kit this Monday because I am taking an oil painting class so I can learn more things to share more things with you guys. So
Cool. I love your painting.
So it's an anti-plug for me today, I guess. But you can go read my latest blog entry if you want to see how I painted the Mini of the Month guy, Naus the Wag Halter. And
You can always look up a back edition on your other show, though, on YouTube.
That's true. If you go to YouTube, Reaper Miniatures YouTube channel, there are playlists for each of the shows, so you can catch past episodes of Reaper Errant too.
Oh, yeah.
Everything you
And
want.
if on Monday you going to get your bender fix, boom, YouTube.
Yep.
Exactly.
Bender fix.
Yeah. We're going to have a watch party.
Yeah.
As usual, had a great time. Thank you, everybody, and I'm looking forward to next week. I think maybe if there had been more beetles, maybe then Abran wouldn't have been quite so eager to summon the big bad, but who knows?
That's fair. I have to admit I was a little bit devious by putting just one small appetizer.
Yeah, that was a spell soaker. Lost a spiritual weapon and a whatever blessing I got from the bard. Bardic inspiration just blew it right out of the
I watched the spells being used, and I can tell you there was some DM giddiness bubbling up inside me. But yeah, so keep track of what your spells are. I mean, because it was.
We're happy we could make you giddy, Frank. That's why we exist.
An appropriate challenge. It excited me with giddiness that this would be a good challenge that we would just not be able to stomp anymore because you were taking care of yourself.
Well, you have to have some fun too.
Yeah. So thank you.
I saved my good spells. All two of them.
You all saved your good spells.
Boy, 2 apple polishers tonight.
I don't know. I think next week, in 2 weeks, it's Fireball-orama.
Yep. Maybe. Well, we will see.
Thank God for those Rutarki pistols.
Tune in to see if they survive. I'm sure they will. And maybe they'll get a lizard folk friend to help them out. We'll see.
Yes.
So until then, there's always next time. John, this is where I kind of leave it into your hands on who we might raid. Oh, John has a raid for us.
We can't hear John.
I'll talk. Hey, you guys should be able to hear me now, I think. Chat. We're going to be raiding Nucrium. He plays Dungeons & Dragons using a application called Tailspire. So if you're interested in that, I think it's really cool. He plays it every Friday. So we're going to be raiding him tonight. I think that's pretty much all I got for now.
It's no otters, but it sounds cool.
Yeah.
Yes. So join us on
Thanks, John.
Thank you, John.
Thanks, John.
Thank you, guys. Have a good weekend, everyone.
I'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.
Oh,
Yeah.
we're going to credits. Bye.
Bye-bye. Credits. Sorry, guys.
So they're running fiber for a new.
It's really
internet
my
provider
fault. I
through
shouldn't
my
have
neighborhood.
alerted Abran to the waiting slot.
I am stopping.
No,